There we are. All right, good evening. We'll call this meeting to order for the August 8th, 2024 Apple Valley City Council meeting. Welcome everyone this evening. For any audience members who have signed up to speak, when your name is called, please come to the podium and address the council. The first item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would ask everyone to rise and join us in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It always sounds very different when there's a full room. So, second item is to approve our agenda. And Tom, I know we had a couple changes. Do you want to provide those updates?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. We do have 3 suggested revisions to tonight's agenda. 2 of those were pre-distributed to the council yesterday. One is item 4T. You have an agreement with BKJ Land Company 2, Inc., for a project on a utility improvements on the Holland Avenue Storm Sewer project. So that would be item 4T on your consent agenda. You have an updated calendar of upcoming events. That's item number 7 on your agenda. And then on your regular agenda tonight, you have the bond sale. So that would be item 5C, issuance of sale of 26.495 million general obligation bonds. You have a revised resolution that reflects the terms of that sale, and that will be presented tonight by our finance director.
All right, so for our agenda, we're going to add 4T. We're going to have some amendments to item 5 on the regular agenda and some calendar changes for 7. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Motion from Councilmember Bergman and a second from Councilmember Grendel. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That item carries. Next item is our audience participation portion of the meeting. We have a total for 10 minutes for this item, and this is for items not on our agenda. Anyone in the audience wish to address the audience participation section? All right, seeing none, we'll close that and move on to the consent agenda. These items are considered routine and will be enacted with a single motion unless a council member or a citizen requests to pull an item. We'll start with council members. Are there any consent items you'd like to pull? All right, I don't see any. Citizens, any items? All right, seeing none, we'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Goodwin, second by Councilmember Grendel. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent items carry, and that moves us on to item 5A, and I'll ask our Police Chief Nick Francis to come up and introduce a new police officer this evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm proud to introduce you tonight to Officer Kyle Wiesner. Kyle is new with us. He grew up in Rochester, Minnesota, graduated from Rochester Century High School. He has 2 older sisters, is a proud uncle. Don't know how his babysitting skills are going or diaper changing quite yet, but he is a proud uncle. He's the first member in his family, his immediate family, to enter law enforcement, so we're really excited to have him part of the law enforcement family. He attended my alma mater, Mankato State, well, it's Minnesota State University, Mankato State University, but as someone who attended and taught there, I can say it's one of the greatest institutions in all of Minnesota. So, proud to have him attend there. Started with the department in February and recently completed field training and is out on solo patrol. Outside of work, he enjoys just being outdoors, fishing, hunting, golfing. So all things we all enjoy, and hopefully he has some wild game to add to our fall wild game potluck. And I will just let him say anyone that he wants to introduce that's with you tonight.
Got my parents, April and Dave here, girlfriend's mom.
Oh.
All the people in the back row I know from college, went to school, Skills High School with all of them. Gentleman on the far right end, he's an officer in Lakeville. And the gentleman in the very back is an officer in Burnsville. So it's nice to work in a community close to some friends that I grew up going to college with.
Excellent. And I will invite you over with the city clerk to take your oath. If anyone wants to take pictures too, you can.
Please come on up wherever's best.
please raise your right hand. We'll say the oath together. State your name.
I, Kyle Wiesner,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and state of Minnesota and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of police officer of the city of Apple Valley in the county of Dakota and state of Minnesota to the best of my judgment and ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
You come on right down here, and Mom is going to pin the badge on. Thank you. We're proud that when anybody enters our field, and whether we're swearing in 1 or 2 or 3 or 5, we always have folks in the back of the room that are welcoming new members to our department family, and we will continue our continuous recruiting and hiring process and keep bringing really great individuals to fill roles here at the police department. So,
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Welcome, Kyle, to Apple Valley, to the police department. As you know, you've been through training, right? You got a great group literally behind you this evening, but you've got a supportive council, and as we all saw this week with Night Out, National Night Out, you got a really supportive community too. So welcome. We're glad to have you on the team. And I think we'll let everybody kind of find their way out and celebrate a bit. All right, as they make their way out, we'll move on to item 5B, which is the Minnesota Recreation and Park Association Award of Excellence presentation, and Nate's going to kick us off.
Yes, so just want to start with this. We got Alyssa Fram here from Plymouth that's going to present the award and do a presentation for us, but I want to start off with saying that this would not have occurred without our communications department. Many of us were involved in the Parks and Rec department. We all had a hand in it, some more than others, but I would like to have the entire group stand up in the back here. So we have Eve from our communications department, Doug from our communications department, Harry from our communications department, and then also Tim from our communications department. And with them, we have Sharon Lemke from our senior center, who also helped with this and was in one of the videos. And then Kayla, who took a stab at writing all of the scripts for all of us. So if you heard us say something, it was her words, and we're so blessed that she did that for us. But we're super proud of everything that they've done. For the size of the staff that we have in our city, for cities comparable to our size, it's amazing that the work that they have done, and we would not probably have had this as successful as the bond referendum without them. But Alyssa is going to go through and give us the other details.
Thank you, Nate. Mayor and City Council, it is an honor to be here tonight and present the Minnesota Recreation and Park Association 2023 Award of Excellence to the City of Apple Valley for the Referendum Marketing and Communication Plan. Before I do that, I'd just like to take a few moments and tell you a little bit about Minnesota Parks, Recreation and Park Association. The Minnesota Recreation and Park Association was formed in 1937 to foster growth and development of the parks and recreation profession throughout the state. Presently, we have nearly 900 professional, corporate, board, commission, student, and retiree members. Members of the association come from municipal, county, state, district, commercial, and private agencies. The Minnesota Recreation and Park Association office is in Fridley. The MRPA Awards Committee was created in 1987 with the purpose of acknowledging individual members and agencies for their excellence in the field of parks, recreation, and leisure services. Awards Committee members represent a cross-section of the state of Minnesota. The awards committee feels it's important to increase awareness of the appreciation of the excellent parks, trails, facilities, recreation programs, and services that are occurring in Minnesota. That is why the Awards of Excellence program was created. The Awards of Excellence is an annual program of the Minnesota Recreation and Park Association that was solely created to recognize agencies and their staff for an exemplary project that was either implemented in 2023 or received substantial revisions in 2023. MRPA members may nominate a project for an Award of Excellence in 7 different categories: administrative or management strategies, communications, parks and facilities, programming and events, sponsorships and partnerships, and sustainability and volunteer initiatives. Nominations received are then reviewed, evaluated, and scored by the committee. Only the top scoring nominations are selected for this award. On behalf of the MRPA Awards Committee, it is my pleasure tonight to present the Award of Excellence to the City of Apple Valley for its winning project, the Referendum Marketing and Communication Plan. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd be remiss, I should not be accepting this. I'm going to have the communications department come up here and actually receive this.
It's really tough if you've been in front of the camera for once.
Poor Eric isn't here.
Speedy recovery, Eric. Hey, you don't have the right cameras for these folks right here. Thanks.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Cool.
Thanks.
All right, next is 5C, to adopt a resolution providing for the issuance and sale of $26,495,000 in general obligation bonds. And
Good evening.
Ron, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I don't think maybe it's a coincidence that there happened to be getting an award for the referendum communication plan. The same day we are selling the bonds for a portion of that project. With us this evening is Tammy Umdahl with Northland Securities to present the results of the bond sale from this morning, positive results. So I'll just turn it over to Tammy.
Thanks, Ron.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. Tammy Umdahl with Northland Public Finance to present on the results. As Ron indicated, you have a resolution before you this evening awarding the sale of $26,495,000. Some background, the bonds are being issued to finance both the park improvements that Ron referenced as well as municipal facility improvements pursuant to your adopted capital improvement plan. The bonds are structured over a 20-year term with relatively level annual debt service payments, and the pledge on the bonds is property tax levy. Before I get into the results, which went very well this morning, as part of this process, in order to secure the best interest rates, a rating was sought on the bonds from both S&P Global and Moody's. Both of the rating agencies affirmed the city's AAA rating. Moody's, if you've had a chance to review the report, and I believe the city may publish that on your website for the viewing public, Moody's points to sound local economy with above average resident income, ample reserves and liquidity, very important to that AAA with Moody's. S&P Global also affirming the AAA. Their comments, consistent record of positive operations, very strong reserves and liquidity, very strong and proactive management team with strong financial management practices and policies. I would note that S&P improved their rating of management by 1 notch. You are at the very highest rating, very strong financial management rating. That is very helpful when years when maybe some of the other items may not be as high for various reasons. So I would note that as well and congratulate the city on that increase in that specific score to very strong. So the method of sale, to get to the results, there were 4 bids received this morning. The winning bid based upon true interest costs, which takes into account the purchase price, the underwriter's discount, what they work for, as well as the par amount, was KeyBank Capital Markets out of Cleveland, Ohio. I believe, based upon my review, that's the first time that they have purchased the city's bonds. And they did bid the bonds with premium, $2,549,662 to be exact. That premium will be deposited into the city's project construction fund. And in this environment, and for the last several years, most, if not nearly all, Minnesota general obligation bonds are bid with premium. And the reason for that, investors are demanding higher coupons while those yields are still relatively low. That is the reason and what is driving that premium. And in the case of Apple Valley, that will provide those additional funds to be deposited. So to get to the final point, the interest rate, the true interest cost was 3.66% from KeyBank Capital Markets. And I would note the cover bid, which is the next lowest bid, was at 3.69, so very close to that. With that, Mayor and Council, I would be happy to answer any questions you may have, and you do have a resolution before you. And the reason it was handed out before the meeting was because bids were taken this morning, and so your bond counsel has updated those amounts for you this evening.
All right, do we have any questions? Thanks, everyone, for going. Go ahead, Tom.
So there was 26 in one fell swoop, right? Bang, they're sold?
Yes, they are, well, Mr. Mayor, Councilmember, with your approval, they are sold.
That's it.
All right, so Councilor Grindle.
I just want to point out that, one of the biggest goals of the city council and staff is the AAA bond ratings. And so I'm just so glad they were reaffirmed, and I think there's 12 cities in the state that, if I recall right, that have that designation. So we're in a rather elite group, so thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Now it's down to 10.
Now it's down to 10.
Well,
Councilmember Goodwin.
makes a big difference.
Well, I think it would be appropriate at this point to congratulate our excellent finance director and his excellent staff. No, it's you, big guy. No, you've done a wonderful job and keep it up.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Grindle, a second from Councilmember Melander. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries. Thank you once again. We'll move on to 5D, and this is Alex's item to adopt a resolution approving an interim use permit on Lot 1, Block 1, Legacy of Apple Valley North for Homshuk and Bodega 42 for corn roaster and outdoor sales area.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. You've already hit me on the action, so I'll touch that at the very end. I'm going to go through this relatively quickly. This site is located at the northeast corner of 152nd and Galaxy Avenue. They were able to open last fall. As part of that, they had a little bit of a slow winter, and so they've been looking for ways to expand their business in the summer months. One of the ways that they were able to come up with was by placing a corn roaster into the parking lot. Staff had been working with them for quite some time on how to do this, and one of the nice things is that in PD 739 subzone 4, which is a retail-based zone, retail sales on sidewalks are actually a permitted use. However, because of fire concerns with this having 200-pound propane tanks, we didn't want it immediately adjacent to one of the fire exits on the building, so we've pushed it off into the parking lot area across from the site. We will need to come back with a ordinance amendment should they choose to keep this going beyond this season, but the interim use permit is a much faster process, and so we've worked with the applicant to get through the planning commission, which unanimously recommended approval, and then bringing it forward for you for the rest of this season. What the corn roaster is looking to do is located in that southeast corner of the site, at least for the summer. We will discuss other locations during the ordinance piece. What they are doing is they're making a lotte corn out of that roaster during the weekends and holidays of this year. It's a dish where they can do all of the ringing up of the product right there. You can order it in the restaurant as well, but it's more of a special item in the restaurant. It really is meant to encourage walk-up users to that site. It's kind of a street corn style of food where you can take it and walk as you go. You could bring it over to your events in Kelly Park, etc. I do have some photos of it as well. Just so that you could see what it looked like on the aerial photo, it's actually right here. Between that and the tent, it takes up 2 parking spaces. One of the items we will need to address during the ordinance that I want to touch on now is they only have 1 parking spot to spare, which is another reason why the IUP allows us to take things as a special condition during weekends that we may want to address a little further in the ordinance. Here's what it looks like when it's in full operation. Big concern, or the only major concerns from staff, and one of the things you'll note in the staff report that we're looking for is how they can manage larger numbers if this were to become a little bit more popular. We don't want, with this location being very close to the entrance, we don't want people stacking out into drive lanes. So you may need to do it in the grass behind or things of that nature, and that's another thing that this IUP will allow the user to figure out how to better handle larger crowds so that we can craft an ordinance that would fit. I don't see the applicant in attendance, but I am relatively familiar with the project if you do have any questions.
Thanks, Alex. Are there questions for Alex? All right, well, thanks for working with one of our new businesses as they try to figure out what works for them in that location. So do we have a motion to adopt the resolution approving the interim use permit?
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Melander, a second from Councilmember Grendel. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that one carries as well. Thank you. We'll move on to staff and council items. Tom, do you have anything?
Mr. Mayor, 2 items for tonight. Since our Park and Rec Director is not able to be here, I do want to make an announcement to let the community know that we are currently going through an extensive process of open houses, trying to hear from all our residents about what they would like to see occur in their neighborhood parks. We call it the Park Amenity Planning Effort, and that is currently underway in over 30 community parks. Our park staff will be going out and meeting with residents in their neighborhood to learn more about their wants and needs for their particular neighborhood park. That process is ongoing for the next month or so, and if you'd like to learn more about that and when the meetings may be coming to your neighborhood, applevalleymn.gov is our city website, and we have all of those details available on the website. Second item would be to invite up Matt Nelson, our fire chief, and for him to give an update on the public open house for the new fire station number 2.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, happy to announce the Fire Station 2 project is coming up to being complete. More finishing touches will be put on this weekend from sod in the front, make it look a lot more finished. But with that kind of finishing up, I know a lot of the public has asked if they get to see the building, that kind of thing. So we're happy to announce we have set a ribbon cutting date or kind of an open house so the public can come see the fire station. So it'll be on Tuesday, September 10th at 5:30 p.m. So we encourage the public to come out. It'll be their opportunity to kind of see the new facility, ask questions, and get to see all the what's been happening there for the last years. Thanks.
Great, thank you. As long as we're, anything else, Tom, on that one? We just finished up, excuse me, night to night here on Tuesday this week, and the fire department, to the police department, to staff who made it out to all the parties. Thank you guys for giving up your evening to come out and visit with our residents and attend their parties. And, you know, it's a good reminder for all of us, right, that we got a pretty good community we live in, and our problems are really pretty small compared to others, and everybody's generally pretty happy with what we've got. So, and we saw that in the support for our public safety folks as well out this weekend. So thanks everybody for being out, and for those who hosted parties so we could be out. It doesn't happen without you doing it, so thank you. Any other items? If
I was going
not,
to say, I only heard about potholes. Speaking of major problems in the city.
all right. Councilmember Goodwin.
Everybody I talked to at all the meetings they were very happy.
Yep.
I said, are there any concerns? And I said, any questions? There's a few questions about parks. And so I gave them those things where they could communicate with the Parks Department and any suggestions that they have. But other than that, no. People were pretty darn happy.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you. Next item is our calendar of upcoming events. Our next regular city council meeting is Thursday, August 22nd at 7 p.m. And do we have a motion to approve the calendar?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Councilmember Bergman, second from Councilmember Grendel. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Councilmember Grandal, second from Councilmember Goodwin. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you, Wiesner.